Hey, yo, check these out.
Yo, what's up?
Dude, Kawhi Leonard slides game used after the 2019 NBA Finals.
Yo, hey, that's a rare find, K.
I know, they
For a
bad,
band? That's not bad. You trying to get some slides in your collection?
I mean, dude, Kawhi slides after winning the Finals. I
Hey,
mean, that was
wait.
one of the crazy... What?
Hey, bro, these are Nikes. These
Yeah?
New Balance, bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
I mean, dude, look at that's a real... That's
Bro,
a real
You
listing, bro.
can't buy stuff off eBay like that, bro.
That's a real listing, though. I mean, look at that. You think that's photoshopped?
Bro, if it says not a scam in the title, I'm sorry, that is a scam. Just go on GOAT or StockX. I don't know what you're trying to do
What do you
with
mean,
eBay.
dude? Go to StockX like can be selling game-used Kawhi slides, though.
That's because this stuff is only on eBay, man. I'm telling you, it's a scam, bro. Look at that Photoshop. I'm done. Let's go. Get back to working on the show, man.
Man, whatever. Still get a cop. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the second episode of 94 Feet. My name is Kade Cameron, and I'm joined here by Danny Stipanovich. And first, let's get down to it. What are you wearing, Danny?
Cade, we got the cool gray 4s on. Last week, I kind of called them out. Is my audio okay? Can you hear me okay?
I think it's just the headphones right now.
Okay, it's the headphones. Yeah, I'm rocking the cool gray 4s on, rocking the camo pants. I am wearing pants, even though they're camo. And then I got a little Nike hoodie, keeping it low-key today, but had to bust out the cool grays after I called them out last episode. What you rocking?
I get that for sure. I'm rocking my 2021 sneaker of the year, the AMA 3s.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe the type of camo I'm wearing, but it's like a camo pants. It's like got some weird colors in there. You'll see it in the video.
Real camo pants too.
Real camo.
Like, this
not
isn't
some
fake.
Urban Outfitter stuff. Some real camo. And then I got the Stussy just black shirt. Something I was able to pick up thrifting. One of my best thrifting finds I've found. And then I don't know the collection, but it's another one of the Hat Club exclusives.
Hey,
down
don't
here.
forget the ice.
Oh,
you
my
iced
bad.
out
Okay,
today
I got
too.
The chain, I got the Casio digital watch on. We're chilling though.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, Kay. We got the dual camera setup going on. Like, this got me hype. I'm hyped to be here for real.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. We got everything ready now. But let's just go through a quick setup of what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the All-Star starting roster. We're going to kind of give you guys our reactions. Some dark horse teams in this NBA season. Something happened with Carmelo Anthony. We'll get into that a little later. Our sneakers of our best drops of 2022 this year. Our fits of the week for the NBA. And we'll kind of finish it all up with some reasons why Kanye is in the news right now. But we'll start off with that first subject, the All-Star Game starters released on Thursday. I mean, it's no surprise about who we got as captains. You got Kevin Durant, you got LeBron James. We've got some good names on that starting roster, but I think there's some names that are a little surprising to see. One of those names being Andrew Wiggins. Danny, how you feeling about that?
You know, everyone is ripping Andrew Wiggins. Everyone's roasting the NBA, like roasting Wiggins, really, especially here in Phoenix. You know, we got a lot of Suns fans. They're mad D-Book and Chris Paul got snubbed from the starters. But guys, can we relax? Like, no, they're gonna make the All-Star game. Does it really matter if they're starting? But since people are whining and complaining about it, I gotta give my take, I guess. And if you're gonna be mad at someone, be mad at the NBA. Don't be mad at Andrew Wiggins. It's how the NBA set up the All-Star game. 50% goes into the fans' votes. 25% goes into players. 25% media. And okay, we hear this saying all the time around here. You know, we're in sports journalism. It's who you know, not what you know. And unfortunately for all these Suns fans, Andrew Wiggins and the Warriors, they know K-pop. And I don't know if you know, but right when All-Star voting started, they signed a deal with some K-pop star, Bam Bam. And in K-pop, I was kind of looking into it. They got a diehard fan base.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like crazy. Like, I was looking into it. There's like if a K-pop star does something like they like make fun of someone, they get crazy hate in Korea.
They're like the Taylor Swift fans and Rihanna fans who, like, you hear something bad about them on Twitter, they're gonna go at your throat.
Crazy. I was looking into it, and literally in the last 5 years, there's been 10 suicides from K-pop stars because the hate they get is crazy, and they like you know how here when you get canceled in America, you can still be relevant.
Oh yeah.
In South Korea, if you get canceled there, you lose all your deals. You're literally canceled. No one messes with you. So in the last 30 years, there's been 30 suicides of high profile K-pop stars. Okay, anyways, back to the show. Okay, so right when the All-Star voting started, they signed Bam Bam, who has 15 million IG followers and 10 million Twitter followers.
Wait, real quick, who are you talking signed Bam Bam?
The Warriors. The Warriors
okay.
signed him. They called him a global ambassador, whatever that means.
Okay.
And the same day they signed him, he tweeted an all-star vote for Andrew Wiggins, and that got 40K retweets, the second most retweeted vote behind Steph Curry. So Bam Bam kind of carried Wiggins and to like I said, it's not. It's who you know, not what you know.
Exactly.
And we hear that all the time here. And then just the way they set up the voting is kind of whack. There's 2 backcourts and 3 frontcourt players. So he kind of benefited from that because CP3 and Book weren't going to make it over Steph and Ja. Ja and Steph both having MVP caliber seasons. And he also kind of benefited from injuries. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's not playing this year. Anthony Davis, I'm sure he would get it over him, but
for sure.
All year he's been in and out of the lineup. And then Paul George just got hurt, so he kind of benefited from how the NBA set up their voting, how they set up the All-Star game thing. Do you like how they have the 2 backcourt and 3 frontcourt players?
I think it works out. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going. It's a traditional way every NBA team is going to roll with, but I think when it comes to a game like the All-Star game, especially before we have the coaches involved in anything like that, I think it's a good setup. My personal take on Andrew Wiggins, though, is one thing that you mentioned already, how Paul George has been injured for a little bit of the season so far. But I feel like the All-Star starters, that selection is based off points, or not just points, but stats pretty much all around, just how they're doing statistically. And I feel like it's not necessarily a label of, oh, you're a starter, you're going to for sure play that game. It's more sure just knowing that, okay, you were voted as a starter, that's good for you. You don't necessarily have to be healthy enough to play in the game, but it's that label of being a starter that's the important part. So I think when you have a guy like Paul George, who has played a significant part of the season and has been putting up the stats he has been, I fully believe that he should have been on this list. I mean, you look at a guy like Kevin Durant, who's not going to be starting in the All-Star game. We'll get into who at least I think is going to take his spot. But you see, though, how injuries have played a role this year and have played a role in the past few years with the All-Star games. I think, personally, in my opinion, Paul George should have been in that spot. I think he's been putting up the numbers. I think Andrew Wiggins would have been a good fill-in for him as a starter. But I think, again, having the label of starter being as important as it is, I believe that Paul George should have had that spot.
But, I agree. I mean, I think the Clippers are 500, they're like 25, something like that.
Not playing right now.
No Kawhi, and they're the 7 seed. Like, what Paul George is doing is definitely he deserves that recognition. So I agree with you. But he got hurt a couple weeks ago, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to fill in?
For fill in for who?
For KD.
KD?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm going to go Jason Tatum.
I was going to say the same.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he's not necessarily that big power forward that Kevin Durant is, but he is a solid forward that's been putting up points for his team all year. I mean, part of the reason why they're in the play-in right now is because of Jason Tatum's production. And honestly, I mean, you look at some of the big stats around the league this year, there's no other forward, really, that's putting up the numbers like Jason Tatum. I mean, you can throw Anthony Edwards in there, but at the same time, I think Jason Tatum's still having a better year than Anthony Edwards. So I think you're going to see Jason Tatum. I think one thing I saw, and it kind of goes to the fact that Phoenix fans aren't too happy about having no starters in there, considering that they're the best team in the league, is that I saw somebody mentioned on Twitter how they can see Jimmy Butler taking that spot because the Heat are in a similar position. They're in the East. They're the number 1 spot. They don't have any starters in. But at the same time, I don't think that Jimmy Butler's putting up the production. I think that you have to give it to a guy like Jason Tatum. I think he's been just doing a lot better this year, and I think that despite having the best, and this goes for the Heat and the Suns, despite having the best records in their respective leagues, they both have great players, but they don't have that one superstar that can get them over the top.
And I completely echo what you agree. I'm a huge Jason Tatum fan, future Laker Jason Tatum. And like you said, he's putting up the stats. I know the Celtics are kind of disappointing right now, but 26 points per game. I feel like every fourth quarter, you just know what they're going to do. They're going to Tatum, and he's going to hit the shots. That's what he does. He's carrying the Celtics on his back. He definitely deserves the nod.
Exactly. I agree with that completely. But that has been the all-star starters. Now let's look at some teams that have been doing some pretty darn good right now before we hit the all-star break, and before we hit the trade deadline too. That's coming up pretty soon. Danny, who's your dark horse team as of right now?
So a couple weeks ago when we were filming that promo video, I know the audience doesn't know about it, but that was when Michael Porter Jr. was knocked out, and I kind of crossed out the Denver Nuggets. I said, they're going to chalk the season. It's chalked. They lost MPJ, and now I'm calling them my dark horse team. In April, Jamal Murray's supposed to come back, and Jokic is just carrying this team. He's averaging 26, 14, and 7.5. That's crazy. They got 5 players averaging double digits, which, something I like. It's not just Jokic doing all the work. They got Will Barton, who last year he was injured, so they didn't have him in the playoffs. In the past week, he's averaging 27 and 5. So he does a little bit of everything. Aaron Gordon, last year, he didn't really come into form. He's kind of finding his groove into the offense now. He's averaging 14 a game. And Monte Morris, a guy who's kind of slept on. I feel like he's going to get you a bucket. He's averaging 12 a game. And Jeff Green, who last year for the Nets in the playoffs, he was hitting big shots when they needed him to. Somehow he's averaging 11 a game still. He's like 35, 40 years old, something like that. I don't know. So my dark horse team is the Nuggets. They play as a team, and they've been together, especially when Jamal Murray comes back. This team has played together for a while now, and I see them making a run in the playoffs. What about you?
So I got to go with a team that I think you can argue is very similar, and I'm going to give a little nod to football right now. I think it's very similar to that AFC championship team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Not championship team yet, but they're playing in the AFC championship. And this team is coming from a state that plays in the same state as the Cincinnati Bengals, and that is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think anybody was expecting them to have the season they are having right now, and especially going into the All-Star break in the next few weeks. Being where they are is incredible for a team that they have. It's a bunch of young studs. I mean, you got Darius Garland, who's carrying the team in points. You got Colin Sexton, who's right there next to him. Jarrett Allen, making the best out of the trade from Brooklyn and getting good points. I think he's one of the most underrated centers in the league right now. Evan Mobley, one of the best rookies in the league this year. I mean, you've got a team that is putting together some fantastic numbers, and that's the reason. What are they? They're third right now in the East.
What's crazy is they're a game and a half behind first place.
Yeah, they're right there. It's insane. And I mean, again, as I mentioned, coming up to the trade deadline, they're 1 or 2 trades away from becoming one of the top teams in this league right now. As weird as it sounds, I don't think anybody was really expecting it out of this Cleveland Cavaliers team, but they're putting together some numbers. They've just got a complete team. They've got a team that works together well. Kevin Love, I didn't even mention him. Kevin Love is having a little bit of a resurgence. He's doing great. So I really could see this Cleveland team. I don't know how far they're going to get, but if they keep playing the way they are, I think they have a solid chance at making a run in the East.
I completely agree. I was actually going to mention them, and what they showed us this past week was that they're for real because Lauri Markkanen went down this past week, and like you said, Kevin Love stepped up. Over the past 2 games, he's averaging 22 and 10. Kind of, we didn't think he was going to find a role here because, there was a trade rumors. And for him to step up when they needed him to, that's huge. I think they're here to stay.
Oh, no, I agree completely. And going from one dark horse team to a team that I don't think a lot of people were expecting to be a dark horse, but could be this year, the LA Lakers. Carmelo Anthony getting into it with the fan in their game against Philadelphia. You look at some of the reports, one of the big things is that I guess one of the fans was just referring to him as boy quite a bit.
No way.
Yeah, that's what Carmelo was saying. He was just, I guess, called boy, But, yeah, going into that, I mean, you hear some of the stuff that came out of that press conference. Frank Vogel said that the fans were just unacceptable language and unacceptable behavior by fans. It's the simplest way to put it. Carmelo saying it is what it is. Some things were said unacceptable. I'm cool with fans heckling, fans trash talking, cheering for their team, booing and all the other team. I'm all for that. When you cross certain lines as a man, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to get, as you saw. So, I mean, this isn't the first time that stuff like that has happened. I mean, we remember after COVID, we were able to actually see fans in the stands, with full stands. Fans weren't acting the way they should have been.
They could not control themselves. I remember Sixers fans were pouring popcorn on players.
Exactly. It's crazy. So, I mean, it's weird because this isn't the first time this has happened out of Philadelphia either. I mean, we've had what happened with Carmelo. You obviously just mentioned how the fans were pouring popcorn. I think that was on Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
And then even a few years... Oh, I love this story. A few years back when Isaiah Thomas was playing for Washington, how he went into the stands to call those guys out. And it was like, his response was like, in a press conference where these fans pretty much just said, "I'm sorry, bro, we just wanted free Frosties."
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems to just be coming out of Philadelphia, but it's interesting because, I mean,
He was on the free throw line, huh?
exactly.
That was hilarious.
He was giving the fans were flipping the bird and all that, but I think it's just so funny to see. First off, it's funny in the sense that it's always coming out of Philadelphia. It's not necessarily the best considering that in a sport like basketball, fans being just that as close as they are to the game, there's obviously going to be exchanges back and forth, and players, that's the one sport where players are really going to hear it, you know? Like, you might get it in baseball sometimes, especially on those, like, midday games that are on the weekends that just nobody shows up for.
No one's even watching.
Exactly. Like, I mean, it's just the crowd's dead silent already. Somebody's going to say something loud enough and they're going to hear it. But but in basketball, just for how close everything is, I mean, it's so different when it comes to having fan and player interactions. If there's one thing you could take away from this, is just obviously just respect the players that are out there. It's one thing to be able to heckle and boo, as Carmelo said, to heckle and boo the other team, but at the same time, I mean, it does seem like there were some lines that were crossed here.
And we've seen LeBron kick people out like right from the front row. Or LeBron, he'll point them out and say, "This person's got to go." I agree with you. Like, fans just cross the line. I've always been one of those people that think courtside seats are a little too close to the game. Maybe we'll see eventually the courtside seats moving back. I thought that was going to happen after COVID.
Or, I mean, even just be a little more exclusive about courtside seats.
There you go, exactly. I completely agree. You want to get into some sneaker talk now, Kade?
Yeah, real quick, I just want to mention that thank God that Skip Bayless isn't sitting courtside every game for LeBron's games. But,
yeah.
Actually, real quick before we do sneaker talk, we're just going to go do a quick fit of the week for the NBA. Danny, you lost last week. You're 0-1 in this little competition we got. But let's see if you can redeem yourself this week.
Can you go first real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
All right, so I guess we're going first. The guy who won last week. So first off, we do just obviously vote on Instagram, vote on Twitter. We'll put the pictures out there. But for my fit of the week, I'm going with the guy from that's been putting up numbers for the Golden State Warriors, and that's Jordan Poole. A little bit different, not necessarily the winter kind of fit that you'd expect out of him. You got like a nice, I'm not sure if it's a true tank top or if you just tuck the sleeves under, but it's almost like a country band tee, a little bit different, with some nice just straight fitting pants, got some flare at the bottom. Looks like some designer shoes. I thought they were Converse for a little bit, but looking a little deeper into them, I don't see it. He got dripped out with the chains, got a nice pair of glasses on. I think there's some really good fits this week, but I thought, it's getting to that time where it's warming up now. The weather's getting a little nicer. So I thought I'd go with the guy like Jordan Poole for this week.
Okay. With the bell bottoms.
Exactly,
I got to say, I don't think I'll ever see you rocking bell bottoms.
Me or him?
You.
Oh, not at all.
No chance? So I'm going with ASU alum Josh Christopher on the Rockets, rocking the puffer. I don't know. It kind of looks like one of those Yeezy Gap jackets. Pretty fire, and I feel like it has to be because he's rocking Yeezys on his feet.
Yeah, I think
and
so. It's got that same material too.
Yeah, this is those Spike Yeezys. Something that I feel like it's kind of hard to rock. I'm blanking on what they're called. Yeezy.
This is the 450.
450. Sorry, I blanked on them. But these are Yeezys that I feel like only people can rock with shorts, and that's why I kind of want to cop them. That's a controversial shoe. People either think that's their heat or they're trash, and I think they're pretty fire. The way he's rocking the puffer, maybe it's because I just got a puffer. So I'm going Josh Christopher.
All right, I like it. Again, as mentioned, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, go vote for those. As I mentioned, we're probably going to mention it every time from this point forward, but Danny and I will have a little competition. Do you want to make it set that we're just going to, whoever loses is going to be a little goodwill shopping?
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Go class dressed like that. I like that. All right. So now let's go into the sneaker drops of 2022. Last year we went into our sneaker drops of our best sneakers of 2021. We projected the sneaker of the year for 2022. But that's just the tip of the iceberg for 2022. There's plenty of great shoes dropping. I was doing my research last night, and I probably got 15 just solid pairs that we know are for sure dropping this year, at least hopefully dropping this year. Danny, do you want to start us off this time?
Ooh, well, yeah, we'll keep it keep or sweep. Keep them if they're hot. If they're not, sweep them to the side. We're gonna start with some heat, in my opinion. The Georgetown ones. Woo! What a beautiful shoe. Kate, I mean, just the navy blue, the cream laces almost with the kind of grayish tinted white on the sole, on the midsole, and then like the white bottoms, or no, navy blue bottoms, white midsoles, and then it's kind of like a gray and gray tinted white. I don't know what this is called, but like around the shoe. This is all gray and white tinted.
Oh,
something like that.
I was blanking on that last week.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's got to be a keep.
Oh, for sure. All right, you want me to go with keep or sweep first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I obviously answer gotta keep it. I think one of the things that Jordan did really well with this shoe that they've kind of strayed away from with other shoes is the fact that they're trying to make it look aged. They're not really bringing out a shoe that looks like right new out of the box. I think a big fashion trend right now is kind of that aged look. So I think that aged look is going to help that shoe go far. I'm going with a keep on these.
Fire. What's up next? What we got next on the list?
So I'm gonna go with the pair of shoes that I think has gotten a lot, or my bad, not a pair of shoes, a brand that has been collaborating with Nike a lot that I think has gotten a lot of attention. You had the Union 4s, you had the second drop of Union 4s, the Union 1s that came out before that, and now Union is collaborating with Nike to make a Dunk low. I mean, the pictures of these are a little different. I'll say that right now. It's like the upper. That's the word we're looking for. The upper.
Thank you.
The upper of the shoe is like the best way I can describe it. It looks like a waterproof shoe. Like it's not necessarily. I don't think it's meant to be waterproof.
I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Like it's the. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's just like it looks like that waterproof material upper. And it's like a bluish almost. It's such a hard shoe to describe. But you got the bluish like almost like waterproof looking upper. You got a white sole, a translucent blue outer sole, and then some like hints of red in there a little bit. You got the Union logo towards the back. It's definitely a different material seen in a Dunk, but I mean, I think it looks pretty good personally. Danny, keep or sweep with these?
It's a sweep for me. The bottoms are fire, the blue bottoms, but this kind of looks like some corny Nike drop that Nike would drop. If you remember, like, Have a Nike Day, like some sort of weird corny drop like that. I'm not really feeling them too much. Pretty good summer shoe, but like you said, like that waterproof material, I'm not feeling it. But I like how Union's trying new things. I wasn't really messing with the Union 4s when they first dropped. They kind of cut the top. It's like a shorter 4, and the colors were kind of weird to me, but they're growing on me. Maybe this will grow on me, but for now, that's a sweep. Bring out the broom.
All right, let's hear what you got for the next one.
Okay. You said keep or sweep?
I said keep with them.
You said keep? All right. Next up, we got the Nocta Nike Hot Step Air Terra, if I'm saying that right.
I think you got it. I mean, pretty much just put it simply, it's the Drake shoe that he's been rocking pretty heavily every once in a while.
There you go. But kind of a dad shoe, and I'm kind of feeling them. I know dad shoes kind of, they were a couple of years ago, they were really hot, and they've fallen off, but these are like chunky. I like the gum bottoms almost, if like, it's like half gum, half white bottoms. I'm not a big fan of white bottoms because, they just go and get dirty.
Oh, for sure.
But these chunky dad shoes are fire. What do you think?
I like them a lot. And I think, again, as you mentioned, it's like it's a dad shoe, that chunky vibe. But it looks it doesn't feel like a dad shoe. It feels way more put together. It feels different. I like them a lot. I think they're definitely. I'm saying keep for all these, bro. I like all these shoes. I mean, Nike's been putting out some heat. It sucks that they haven't put out too much recently, especially with the holiday season being over. I know they usually like to pick it up around Valentine's Day. But yeah, no, these are a keep for sure. I love these shoes. I think they look good. They're supposed to drop January 27th. They didn't drop then. Hopefully they drop at some point this year because it's a shoe that has gotten a lot of hype recently.
And shout out to Drake. Usually Drake Nike drops are kind of underwhelming, to be honest. The 10s, like the OVO 10s, all of his OVO drops are kind of, just mid.
Nothing special,
Yeah, but these are fire. I like what he's doing.
All right. Danny alluded it to last show, the 2s that were his sneaker of the year last year, the Off-White 2s. 2s are definitely making their return. And a shoe that I think has very high potential to be a shoe of the year, the AMA Jordan 2s. This is a beautiful shoe. I mean, like it's got like some snakeskin designs around the side. You got, I think that's a white. No, it's actually my bad. It's a primarily black sole with a white outsole, a white suede upper, black laces with some hints of a really deep like maroon burgundy color. Again, like I said, for 2. Oh, and I didn't even notice this either. Like a black satin insole. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, these are
Okay.
nice
Yeah,
pair of
I
shoes.
didn't even see that actually. That's fire. And then the black Air Jordan logo on top of the laces. That's like a small detail that's just fire. You don't usually. I don't think I've ever seen the Air Jordan logo on top of the laces like that. I really like how they did that. And you mentioned the suede upper. Like that's kind of fire. I'm gonna go
nice.
keep on this one.
Oh, for sure. That's a keep for me as well. And we are running out of time, so Danny, let's get through yours real quick.
Okay, real quick. I have to shout out if I can find it on the dock real quick. I know I'm late on time. Hold on.
Are you talking about the Georgetown Sixes? Or are you talking
Georgetown Sixes. I'm looking for the Union.
The Union 2s?
Union 2s. Okay, I found them. Fire shoe. This has to be a keep. The cream vintage look. Union just dropping heat, even though I just trashed their dunk lows. But these 2s are fire. Easy keep for me.
Oh, I agree. I think that's a keep as well. I think that's a good looking shoe. And again, the return of the 2s for this year. Finally, on the last one we got on this list before hopping over to Kanye real quick, we got the Jordan 3 Fire Reds. It's something that we saw the Fire Red 4s coming out pretty recently. The Fire Red 3s coming out now later. Pretty much start off the holiday season. How you feeling about these?
Fire Red 3s, that's a keep. I said last week those might be my shoe of the year. 3s are making a comeback with the Fire Reds. Ooh, I got the Fire Red 4s. Keep for me.
Okay, I agree with that as well. They're very similar to those the denim 3s that they released a few years back, but I think that's a good looking shoe for me, but that's a keep. I think that's it for today's show. We are running out of time, unfortunately. We couldn't get to the Kanye stuff. I'd say just look that up yourself.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
all
talk
good.
about it next week. It's something interesting we can get into. Boy, thank you for tuning into today's show. It was an honor having you guys here. And make sure that, first off, check the YouTube channel at 94 Feet Show. Those videos should be dropping tomorrow. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and 94 Feet Show there. We'll have some interactive stuff for you guys to get into. And we will be seeing you guys next Saturday.
If you made it this far, you're a real one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to hit that like button, show some love, subscribe, and turn on post notifications.
And if you haven't followed us on any social media yet, follow 94 Feet Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you.